Freedom and security. The government must view freedom of speech as an aid and not impediment to national security. So the government must view means the government it should consider or it should see the freedom of speech. It should see the aspect of freedom of speech as something that will help the national security and not something that will make um, which will make it hard for everyone to maintain national security. By calling on social media platforms operating in India to follow the law of the land as it did last week in Parliament, the government has not just started the seemingly obvious but also delivered a warning to Twitter that it ought not to defy its orders again, the way it did in early February when the government wanted certain handles blocked for spreading incendiary content. So now the government is proposing some new laws. So it is proposing some new laws, and it is also asking each and every social media to follow to follow or to obey all of its rules, or else all of those or else the social medias which won't be obeying the laws, all of them will be banned. That Twitter, for example, we have the social media of Twitter. It said that it will obey all of the laws, but actually last week it did not obey all of them. It kind of like to the government. So now the government is warning a company Twitter that if you don't obey our laws, and if you defy them, means if you deny them, we'll take serious action against you. We respect criticism. Can you criticize even the prime minister? Said Minister of IT and Communications Ravi Shankar Prasad in Parliament on Thursday. So India, it respects criticism. So that's why India is a democratic country. If a country is democratic, you should even be able to criticize its prime minister. Only then you can call it as a democratic country. That's all good and nice. And this was said by Minister of IT and Communications Ravi Shankar Prasad in Parliament on Thursday. But if social media is used to propagate hate, then actions will be taken. But social media, it can be used for criticism, and it can be used for conversations and many other things. But if it is used for spreading hate, if it is used for spreading rumors of someone and hate of someone along the world or along any country like India, then action will be taken obviously. Further, he asked why, when the police act in Washington's Capitol Hill ransacking, a microblogging site stands in their support. But when a similar action is taken at Redford or National Pride, the platform opposes it. That the government wanted public problematic hashtags blocked is understandable, even the tense situation on the ground on the day of the farmer protest. But what is difficult to appreciate is that it also wanted the handles of some journalists, activists, and politicians to be blocked. So the reason why India came up with this new policy of all the social media should be obeying the laws. Obviously, they should obey, and this insisting nature of the government came because of the current farmer protests. So because of that, hate may be spreaded all over the country. Um, hate associated with the farmers protest. Not only that, in this aspect of the farmers protest, the government also wanted the hands of some journalists and related professionals. It wanted their hands to be blocked. Means basically it means that um, the government wanted those professionals to be silent. Twitter eventually complained, but not fully. We have not taken any action on accounts that consist of new medias and entities, journalists, activities, and politicians. It said in its blog. The Twitter complaint means it said, okay, we will truly follow them, but in reality, it actually did not truly follow them. It partially followed them, and said that the reason why we partially followed them is that um, we have not taken any action on accounts that consist of news media entities, journalists, activists, and politicians. So we partially obey your orders in its blog. To do so, we believe that we would violate their fundamental right to free expression under Indian law, and it also the reason why it did so. Um, why did not involve any journalists, activists, and politicians related things? It said that to do so, we believe that if we did not do that, we would violate their fundamental right of freedom of expression under the Indian law. After all this, the issue is still in the realm of the statements and counter statements. So even after all of this discussion, there are still some counter statements for the even for the statement of Twitter, and there are some counter statements, and there are some counter statements even for the statements of the government. While keeping up the pressure on Twitter by threatening to take action, the government, at least for time being, seems to have stopped short of taking action. So I just said that if Twitter does not fully or if the Twitter does not fully or completely obey the orders or obey the laws of India, India said that it will take serious action against it. But but in the recent times, no one has seen India taking in the recent times no one has seen India taking a serious action against any company or anyone. Twitter also seems to have stopped. Twitter also, and while being defiant initially, Twitter also seems to have stopped short of escalating it and going to court. No, the the problem could escalate to such an height that this problem could go to a court, and and Twitter can do it. It has the potential to take the problem to the court. This is significant because if either one of the parties had decided to escalate the issue, the contentious law under which social media platforms are required to comply with blocking orders could come out under under legal scrutiny. This is a huge problem if this issue goes to such an extent, um, to the extent of in court. This issue is going to become a huge problem for both the social media and also for the government. The reference is to Section 69A of the Information Technology Act 2000, under which the government can order a digital intermediary to block any content on grounds including security of the state or public order. So, under a specific act in a specific section, the government has the right to block some important news which is related to the public, state, or even national security. The government has the right to block such types of news on the social media. Sure, the Supreme Court did uphold the constitutionality of Section 69A in the Sharia Singhal versus the Union of India case in 2015, but criticism over the secrecy of the process and the arbitrariness with which it has been used over the years has never ceased. So government has used this right several times, and what this usually means to us is that the government is maintaining many news. The government is maintaining secrecy several number of times. There is something that the government does not want us to know about certain things. Similarly, this right was also used in the recent Sharia Singhal versus the Union of India case. Um, this happened recently in the year of 2015, and the right of the government, which was given in the Constitution of India, it was again used. So this says only one thing firmly. The government is maintaining certain news with secrecy. It does not want something us to know. This section, in a way, represents the therefore important that freedom of speech is not seen as the antithesis of the security of the state, but also as one of its key facilitators. So basically, the author is saying that social media, it should not be a media. It should not be a media. It should not be a media for hate. Means it should not spread hate. Instead, it should aid and help our national security. Thank you.